know that joy comes in the morning light. So I march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there is got to be another way.
Hey everybody, welcome to PURELive. It is Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So, for all of you guys that have watched the show, you know we start off with our sponsors. But just to let you know, you are in for a great show today. We got a lot of knowledge for you, and that's what I bring you. So, let's go on with these sponsors. Here we go.
Hey sis, my name is Yasmin Brown and I am the founder of Beauties on Successful Strides. We are your sisterhood community that cares, and we are advocates for your goals being achieved. I'm talking about those goals that you have put on the shelf, those stretch goals that you really want to accomplish, but a part of you feel like it might be impossible. We have been helping women to make the impossible happen, and we want to journey with you. We want to be part of your tribe to help you with making the impossible happen. And we do that by helping you to shift from the no zone. The no zone is that zone where it's like, you know what, I really want to do it, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I have enough resources to do so or the support to do so. The no zone is also the fear zone. We help you to shift from the no zone to the no matter what zone. The no matter what zone is having that head crusher, no matter what, get it done, bold, confident mindset. And then we help you to be equipped with spiritual success strategies to success. That is basically helping you with developing systems that works while being part of a community that will support you, love on you, cheer for you, celebrate you, be resource providers for you, and so much more. The time is now, sis. If you are serious about your goals being achieved, if you are serious about making the impossible happen and reaching that next level, then join us. Become part of our sisterhood. Become part of a community that truly, genuinely cares. And I'm just excited to welcome you to Boss soon. Let's go. Let's take them goals off the shelf. Let's make them happen. Let's make the impossible happen for you. See you soon. Bye.
I enjoy that every time. And like I've told you guys many times, Boss is something we definitely want to connect with. They have helped me to get this show together. They helped so many people get their businesses together. Whatever your goals are, maybe they're not business related. It's all about the sisterhood. And they got some amazing new things going on. I will keep you posted. And you can go to beautystrides.com if you'd like to join. Tell an agent that you. And for those wonderful outfits that you see me in, Posh Women's Apparel, classy, sophisticated, stylish. There's some of the dresses that they have. And you saw me wear the one in the left corner. And here's a few others. Boom, boom, boom. You're welcome. And if you would like to get a discount, Women's Apparel, the code is Asia. Isn't that simple? You're welcome. 10% off. And for those of you that have been paying attention to my posts, I am an ambassador for Bella Eyewear. So if you want those shades and you want 30% off, you can go to my website and you'll see a Bella Eyewear, and it will lead you right to that 30% off. All right. And if you guys are in the Indiana area, Merrillville, and you need a fresh cut, cuts by Nate. My boys will not go to anybody else. You understand? So everywhere on social media, you go to Cuts by Nate, that's the name, and he will hook you up. Like for real, hook you up. They stay fresh. All right, now we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into nitty gritty. Last week, I presented you all with some tax solutions. Today, we're taking it a step further. We're gonna get into that financial education. And for those of you that may have questions or you have comments, feel free. I will see your comments and I will post them for her to respond to you. So, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Miss Dalji Jones.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for being on the show.
Indeed, thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. And so everyone understands you are an entrepreneur, correct?
I am pretty much I'm a serial entrepreneur. To say the
Okay.
least. To say the least, I've had several different ventures, and I'm just one of those that if one thing doesn't work, let's kick it on over to something else. So,
All right. I hear that. That's everybody though.
mhm.
You know. So this is the website to your business. And for those of you that are following along in the conversation, you want to write that down. I will bring it back up later, but you might want to write that down. And I want to show. Oh, so there's some kind of knocking coming through. I don't know what that is. What does it sound like? I don't hear knocking. Let us know. Okay. So I want it to sound good for you. So here's what I got from your website. Trusted accountants and tax preparers. I hope we can trust you.
Please do, please do.
Financial services provides unparalleled, personalized accounting and tax services to a broad range of clients across the country. As your financial advocate, we are here to ensure that all of your financial decisions are made carefully and with your best interest in mind. We are ready and able to serve as your financial advisors and tax planners as we guide you along your path to success. That's beautiful. Uh,
Thank you.
and you said financial advocate. That's a big deal.
It
That's a
is,
big deal.
yeah. Yeah, and it's more so because so many people, one of the things that I do on my Facebook Live on Sundays, I always let people know there are no dumb questions. The dumb question is the one that you fail to ask. So don't let it be a costly one, and just ask anybody. So somebody that has some background in what it is that you are looking to seek some light
Mhm.
in. So.
Is that every Sunday?
It is. I didn't this Sunday because unfortunately, I ended up in Facebook jail behind a joke.
Ooh.
So it was just one of those things. It was like, are you serious right now? Like, did you read the thread? Yeah, but okay. So I didn't get out to do my live this weekend. But normally I do it on Sundays. It's on a D. Louise Financial Services page. And I have people submit questions during the course of the week. And then I pick a few out and then just discuss. It's only about 15 minutes because I know Sundays is like family day, church, those types of things. So I try not to bog you down with too much information, but enough information for you to be able to either reach out to myself or to someone that you trust.
Okay. So what time?
It is at 10 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Central Standard Time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I have not had that experience, but I have heard, you know, going into Facebook jail, they put it. Is what it is. But
Yeah,
you're here now. So let's move
indeed I
on forward.
am.
So why don't you first tell us what led you to get into this industry in the first place?
Well, it's so weird because I've kind of trickled off into so many other things. High school, I said that was one of the things me and my best friends, we were like, we're gonna be accountants. We had a whole plan. We're gonna be accountants, we're gonna live in Atlanta, we're gonna drive this car, we're gonna do that. So, of course life happens. I got married at 19 and then kids at 25, and it was like it kind of got away from me. So I was a hairstylist for years. Um, and then when those kids came along, I needed insurance. So I decided to go back to school, mainly because I'm also in the airline industry. So I work for a major airline, and I wanted to progress. So I said, well, let me go back to school. So my current husband was like, you want to be a lawyer? That's where I was kind of going to go. And he was like, but you work so well with finance. So why would you go against your grain and do something that you actually love to talk about? Um, Besides being a diva, I am so nerdy when it comes to finance. So me actually, and I've sat for the CPA exams. Currently, I put getting licensed in Georgia just on the back burner, just a little bit because you have to have 2,000 hours under a licensed CPA, because I kind of wanted to build up my tax. I wanted to build me first and make sure that I had all of the credentials that I needed to have for people to be able to trust me. Not that I won't. I've passed all 4 exams. I just have to get the hours under someone. But that was it. It was really my husband. He was like, you've been talking about being an accountant. Why not go ahead and do it? And the weird part was, and it's really weird because the IRS, I went to the IRS here in Georgia, downtown,
Okay.
have them do my taxes, and they screwed up.
Oh.
Yeah. They screwed up and didn't give me credit for my children. So there was like a $6,000 credit that I didn't get until like November of that year. And I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this, never again. And so that, along with my my husband, was like, just do it. So here I am. So and I love it. I do. I love numbers. I
Yeah.
love finance. Yeah, I'm nerdy that way.
Well, praise the Lord for people like you. I know, you know those tests that you take, and
Hmm.
it's supposed to tell you what you should do, professionally speaking. And it always said I was supposed to be either an accountant or a mathematician. And I was like, I don't want to be no accountant. That stuff is complicated. I'm good.
Yeah, it really isn't. And with technology today, and you're into technology
Yes, sir.
today, it is it's really simple. I mean, you gotta know what goes where and what does what, but um,
Yes. That's
it's
like the computer.
self-explanatory. It really is.
No, it's not.
You say you do that, and I'm gonna do what I do over here.
Like this is why we need you, okay?
Mhm.
Yes. That's not my field. That's not my anointing. Praise be to God. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, if you have comments, please feel free to leave them, and I will post them so that she can respond to you. All right, moving forward. So, one of the reasons that I felt it was absolutely necessary to address financial education is because of what we have recently been dealing with. Now, um, although we've already had more unemployment than anybody desired, COVID took it up. You know, so from Statista, as of June of this year, the unemployment rate in the United States is 5.4%. And the number of long-term unemployment persons in the United States, which I think people don't address, is 3.43 million. Okay, so um, the average though duration of unemployment in the United States in 2019 is 16.5 weeks. So for those people that did not know, hey Cheryl, for those people that that did not know how to put away money or how to plan or how to properly do their taxes, which apparently I'm one of those people because all of a sudden I owe instead of getting a refund. What in the world? Um, for people like that, we need people like you. Um,
Yeah.
so, what kind of advice would you give for those to prepare for those types of crises?
As far as taxes and owing.
Yeah, yes, let's start with the taxes first, and then we'll branch out to the other side of things.
Okay. So tax wise, and I find it intriguing for me to kind of find tax breaks that other people get. So, everybody kind of was like, "Hey, how does this big corporation not pay any taxes at all?" And here I am, I'm making 50, $60,000 a year, and I'm on, the IRS so much. So a lot of people don't understand there are certain things that even you can do in your life that can qualify you for some of those tax breaks. And you don't have to technically formulate a business to receive some of those breaks. So
Hmm.
I always say speak to a professional, and they can kind of assess what it is that you actually need to do, so that you aren't on the losing end of, on the I, the R, and the S. And this one, no, I don't mess with those at all. So um, the biggest thing is speak to somebody, and they can go over your life. Most people, including myself, I give a 30-minute free consultation. So we can kind of look at what your situation is. And planning is one of the biggest things. We fail to plan, especially even with taxes. You don't know what you're filing. You just figure H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, and there's nothing against them. You go in, even TurboTax, you go in, but if you don't know what you qualify for, you don't know what to look for. So sometimes
Right.
it's not a situation where I mean, it usually is a situation where they charge a little bit more, but
Mm-hmm.
it's more beneficial for you in the long run.
Okay. That makes sense to me. And there's a question before I move forward with my own question. And a person comes to you with zero financial knowledge, but wants help getting their personal finances together. How would you go about getting them started?
Well, initially, we need to look at your overall finances, how you spend your money, what you're spending your money on. And then we'll sit down and we create a budget. And I kind of pride myself with kind of breaking it down in the simplest of forms when I actually speak to people about what their finances are. What are your goals? See, if you don't have a goal, then it's hard for me to steer you in the right direction. And normally, when I set out a plan for you to be financially um, equipped to move forward to where you want to go, if you follow it, it'll work pretty good. Um, the downfalls in that is I understand life happens, and even in the financial plans that I do for people, I make sure that I include just in case, you know. And I also do reassessments of whatever it is that the goal that we're working towards, because that's the thing, you got to set a goal to say, hey, I want to retire with this amount of money. Or if it's for a purchase for certain things that you don't have, or you want, I should say, okay, this is where we need to go, this is what we need to do, and just break it down in layman's terms so that you can understand. I'm a one-man band, so most of my clients, and I think they sometimes forget because I'm so accessible to them, that I do have other clients. So, because you call my personal phone, it stays on me at all times. Um, and then they're like, "Well, you didn't answer the phone." It's like, yeah, I'm prevalent in like three other states other than Atlanta, so I'm trying to, manage all of this by myself. But it's just a matter of speaking with someone, and always, as I was said before, there are no dumb questions. The only dumb question is the one that you fail to ask. If you don't understand it, make sure that you ask that question. And I am very thorough with breaking things down so that people can understand actually how to proceed and get the knowledge that they need.
Absolutely. I appreciate that because I'm one of those people that needs that knowledge. Um, so If I see her, I went from side hustle to actually getting a single membership LLC. What steps should I take to make sure I don't screw myself up?
Okay. So it depends what you set your LLC up. So you can set it up. Did you set it up as an S corp? I mean, your filing status is kind of what makes the difference in what your taxation rate is. So you want to make sure that you're filing properly. And making sure that you're getting all of the exemptions and credits that are due you. So again, it's one of those situations where you really need to sit down with someone and go over. Because I can give an umbrella um, sort of answer, but for your specific situation, you really need to sit down and speak with someone so they can go over to make sure that you are um, filing correctly, make sure all of your paperwork is done correctly. Make sure that your filings, even with the state, have you set up a tax account so that you can pay your taxes on a quarterly basis. So there's different things that you actually have to speak with someone with. And I know we try to do it all by ourselves. You know, we go Google, we YouTube, but sometimes you just need a professional that does it on a everyday basis that can actually break it down for you.
Yeah, I totally tried to do everything by myself. And then everybody started telling me I owe. I'm like, wait a minute. I may be
Right?
making more money, but I don't make that kind of money. Yes, a few thousand here, yes, a few thousand here. Uh, uh.
Yeah.
So,
And
so let me.
you got to know what you can write off too. So there's so much you
Okay.
can write off, and there's so many loopholes in there that will allow you um, to be able to get an exemption that you didn't think you qualified for. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. So, so let me ask you this. So with my business, I have different entities of my one person business here. Well, sort of one person. I do have producers. Hello. Hi. Thank you. Um, with all the equipment and stuff that I have and wardrobe, is that something that I can write off?
It is because it is something that is related directly to what it is that you're doing. So even, and it's so weird because people in an industry, and I'll use the airline industry because I have a few flight attendants that are clients. So you're required to make sure that your uniform is clean. You should have stockings, you should have your hair done, your makeup, all that. All of those things because it is a job requirement. If you keep
Hmm.
your receipts and we itemize and go through, sometimes you're itemizing your cleaner's bill, those type of things.
Hmm.
You weigh the options, whether or not you take the standard deduction or whether or not you take the itemized. So even with my flight attendants, like they get their hair done every, 2 weeks, or they have a plethora of stockings, or they buy MAC makeup because some of the things are just a requirement for your particular position. So you have to weigh those options and see. So yes, your wardrobe, because that's a part of what you do, your equipment that you purchase. That allows you to be able to do what you do. So of course, those things you can actually use and write off on your tax returns.
Okay. So is there a certain threshold in regards to amount and where we would say, okay, this isn't worth it or this is worth it?
Um, I say when you sit down and talk to someone, they can let you know specifically. So, and it just depends on what your cash flow is. So, what you have coming in and what you're putting out, whether or not it's going to be beneficial. There's just be somebody you have to sit down and they'd have to go through your finances with you to make sure that it works best for you.
Okay, so let's throw out some numbers. Let's say that you have pulled in 90,000 for the year,
Okay.
and you have about $5,000 worth of expenses that you feel you can write off. Is it worth it?
At the 5,000 range, no, because you probably have more than 5,000. So it's a matter of knowing what industry you're in, and pulling in everything. So those lunch dates, those phone calls that you're making on your cell phone, if you have a home office, part of your electric bill, your heating, we can write off. There's a square footage that you can actually write off. Your internet, your going out to get lunch and taking somebody to lunch to just talk over business. So your time is money. So, and you have to have someone that is very knowledgeable in the fact that um, they can put a dollar amount on your time. So that's what makes the difference. And that's a lot of times where we fail because we don't realize that almost everything that you do, if you're thinking about it, you pretty much, yeah. So you texting, you're sending emails, you got to buy a new laptop, you got to take a trip out of town to go see if you can talk to someone about what you have going on. Um,
Okay.
all of those things can be considered an expense, and can contribute to what it is that you do. So again, I can't stress that enough. Speak to somebody because a lot of people don't know that.
Okay. Hi, husband. I just want to say hello, everyone. So let me ask you this. um, so let's say your organization didn't make much money. Maybe you're just starting off, and frankly, you barely broke $1,000 area, but your expenses exceed the amount that you brought in. Do you even bother filing your taxes?
Yes. So the thing about that is, first, most businesses first 3 years don't make no money. The IRS is fully aware of that. I mean, those are your struggle years,
Okay.
because you're trying to find your way in the industry that you're in. So you normally, yeah, you don't pull in a lot of revenue, and then unless you have found a niche that nobody else is doing, and you have cornered that market initially. They anticipate you to take losses, and most people who, even when they're starting a business, you normally have a job because you got to have a way to finance it. Unless you have someone that is backing you with great capital, it's kind of anticipated. So a lot of times, those first 3 years, you're going to be in a red business wise. So I tell people, even then, when you are kind of like just starting off, file it with your regular taxes. You don't have to have an EIN number. You don't have to set up a LLC. And technically, what the IRS considers it to be is a hobby. That's how they
Okay.
kind of label it, as a hobby. Your hobbies can take a financial loss. And you also have to understand as well, even if you take a great bit loss this year, you can carry that forward or you can take it back. So if this year you lost, but last year you gained, you can take that loss back last year and file an amended tax return and receive a larger tax return, and the IRS will give you money. Or you can take your loss. Yes, ma'am. That's why I say speak to a professional. Or you can take your loss and not take the whole loss that year. And you can spread it out over the course of the years, especially if you project. Business plans it's like writing a goal, and they should be adjustable. I tell anybody, make sure you have a business plan. Um, that helps you also raise capital when you're looking for people to back you in what you're doing. But you can take your losses from this year and spread it out over the next few years. And that way it'll kind of it can balance things out for you, especially with you owing the IRS, and which you don't want to kind of get into. So you don't want to owe them.
No. So you can write off expenses for a hobby?
Technically, I say it that way because that's the simplest way for people to kind of understand. So let's say you bake cookies. I'll just use that as something simple. And yeah, you sell them at the school, you may sell them at the church function, but you haven't officially launched it as a business. So it's considered a hobby.
Okay.
It's the best way that I can say it.
Kind
So
of
you
nothing
don't
like
bring
a
in a
side
whole lot
hustle.
of money. Yeah, you don't bring in a
Okay.
whole lot of money, but you still got to buy the flour, the sugar, the milk, whatever it is that you're purchasing. Um, And a lot of times you take them out. You got to get the packaging, the all of those things. So, and that comes out of your earned income from whatever your profession is. So if you're not like completely replacing it and building a profit on top of it, it's technically considered a hobby. That's the only best way that I can kind of explain it as. So
Okay.
with that being said, everybody thinks as soon as you get in business, I gotta get this LLC, I gotta get my articles of operation, I gotta do all this stuff, I gotta spend all this money. And some of those companies charge you astronomical fees to set up. I mean, I do them also. I do business setups, but some of those companies, I'm like, why'd you charge those people all that money for that? Like, it literally, and I'm not knocking nobody's hustle. Like, literally, it's more of about an hour's worth of work.
Wow.
So it's one of those things that is like, you didn't have to do all that. So, yeah, you don't have to have all of that until you make a grand profit, because then you don't want to be, because what they tax you as a self-employment rate when you do it that way, your hobby. So until you make a significant amount of money, and then you want to be taxed at the corporate rate. And even whatever it is that you file initially, you always can change that. You can send to the IRS. Let's say you're filing as a sole proprietor, and now you want to go and do a C corp, or now you want to incorporate someone else in with you, and now you want to do a partnership. It isn't that hard to make that change, so that you're taxed differently. So those are the things. Yeah, those are just a few little tidbits.
Okay. We're gonna switch gears after the break. We're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna get into the game. For those of you that have been watching, you already know. If you get the answer right, then you can win a prize. That's how we get down. So here we go. And for those of you that are watching YouTube, this is what I'd like you to do. Thank you. So we're gonna take this small break, and then we're gonna play the game. Find the. Here we go.
Jamal Rogers, and I'm a singer, songwriter, choreographer, voice actor, and I am the creator and talk show host of PURELive. PURE is an acronym for perfectly undefined raw elegance. So naturally, we want our content to be pure, raw, and elegant. It airs live every Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube and Facebook. And if you'd like to see all of the episodes, you can reach it at asiajamal.com, ASIAJAMAL.com. Or if you'd like to be on the show, you can reach me at asia@asiajamal.com. Hope to see you soon.
All right. Also, for those of you that are not aware that Twitter is taking over Periscope, I'm live streaming on Twitter as well. So, if you want to see me, follow me. I am everywhere. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Follow me. Okay. See, they loving it. All right. So now we're going into this game. Find the fake, created by my producers. Here we go. Hopefully y'all were paying attention because y'all always trying to get me to play it again. So we're not gonna have her give the answer away right now. Y'all think on that, ponder, and we will continue on with the show. And we will present the answers later. Oh, Yasmin said B. Okay. We'll give the answers later. We're gonna give some people opportunities to answer. All right. So in changing up, what I want to get into is financial planning. Felix said he feels lucky today. Okay, Felix. I want to get into financial planning. So what I was discussing earlier in regards to, the whole situation where so many people were laid off and so many people were in need of these programs that were put in place. Hey, I can't feed me. I can't feed my kids. I can't feed the way. I can't pay my rent. So people weren't prepared for the mass layoffs that went down. And, thankfully, although it did affect my home, I was never in a situation where I needed that rental assistance or I needed food or anything like that. I had what I needed. I had some money put aside and, a little assistance. So what is your advice in regards to that financial planning? What should that look like?
The most important thing to do is make sure you pay yourself. So you have to. It's like one of those things. I initially, and I didn't understand that part at first. Pay yourself. So you have to have something that you put to the side on a consistent basis. So just like how you'll work overtime, so that you can do a trip. You'll work overtime so that you can, buy something specific. The first person you should do is pay yourself. Now, what you invest in, whether or not your company has some type of 401k program or a 457 program or even a retirement program, that is first and foremost. And even if they don't, you can open up specific like savings accounts. Um, you can do mutual funds. You can do CDs. That's just a form of being able to pay yourself, where that you can pull things out in the event things happen. Because we got caught with our pants down last year, like so many
Yeah.
people. Yeah, and it was disheartening to see the struggle was real because we were so comfortable in our day to day that we was like, oh, okay, get up, going to work today, and now they didn't shut the country down. So, and a lot of people weren't prepared. Hopefully, this pandemic has taught people that you have to have something else going on, other than what you actually have. So, that's one of the things that you just want to do. Pay yourself first, even if it's $25, a pay period, $30 a pay period, and put it in something that's going to be interest bearing, so that you can kind of get a return on what you're doing. Because it wouldn't make sense if you put $25 in and your $25 doesn't go anywhere but $25, because 3 years down the line, $25 is probably going to only be about 15. So you want to make sure that you put it in something that's actually going to make your money make money for you.
Okay. So what does that look like? What kind of things should we be putting our money in?
Um, I personally, if you can do stock market, some of the times, stock market is pretty simple. They have so many different programs out, like Robinhood. I mean, I'm not backing anyone specific, but they have so many different ones that are out. CDs are always great. I love CDs. They're safe. And you can kind of see a return. I say look for CDs that are a little bit aggressive. And you can do an aggressive CD where you have it just for 2 years, 3 years, 9 months. You can do it and reap the benefits. But again, that's one of those things that you have to speak to a financial advisor. because you want someone that's well versed, because you don't want to put your money into a CD and then you keep it at, a Manila area, and next thing you know, you're not gaining any money. So the thing about a CD is, no matter what you put in, if you put in $1,000, $1,000 is what you're going to get out. But that's not the purpose of it.
Okay.
Some people advise about mutual funds. Um, I'm not a big fan of mutual funds, only because the fees for those and the people who manage mutual funds, and I almost went into Ben, they get paid good, like real good. So
Okay.
I almost wanted to be a mutual fund manager, but our people needed something else. So their fees can be excessive, and what a mutual fund manager does is they take your money and they look at the market and they invest it depending on how aggressive. But they also can be overly aggressive in putting your money in different entities. So therefore, that can put you in a different tax bracket or a different tax situation. And I talked about this not this past week, but the week before last. That can put you in a different tax situation when it comes time for you filing your taxes. So some people mutual funds are kind of for people mid six figures. That's my advice on that one. I'm
Okay.
$500,000 you make that a year. You can afford to kind of play around with your money a little bit more. But for the average person, CDs are really, really safe. They really are. Those little Robin Hood type dealios are pretty good because you don't have to buy one full piece of stock. They allow you to kind of piece the stock out. So like Bitcoin is through the roof. So of course nobody has like $6,000 right now to buy one Bitcoin. I don't know what the current rate is. I haven't looked today. So, but they will allow you to put in, let's say, $100, and then they give you whatever the percentage of your return that way. So
Okay.
the biggest thing I tell people is, once you put it in, don't touch it. Let your money make money for you. And that's where we fall short so many different times, is because we'll put the money in, we'll see this great, returns, like, ooh, now I can go do this. Just reinvest it. Just,
Thank you, Dr. Margaret.
mm-hmm. Once you have if you have $5 now, it's worth $7.50. Take that whole $7.50 and put it back in. And don't say, "Ooh, I'm gonna take this $2.50 and I'm gonna do what I need to do." Because when you come time for you to retire, everybody wants to live comfortable, and Social Security just don't cut it. So we've figured that out. Social Security is just not a big bank option.
No, it is not. And I am definitely concerned about whether or not it'll even be there by the time I'm old enough. So, yeah. So, okay. Okay. So, I don't know if I want to give my age away or not. It doesn't really matter. But for myself being in my 30s, and I'm trying to put money away. Let's say I'm making a decent amount of money. I won't put my number out there because somebody gonna try to rob me. But
I get it.
Just saying, let's say I'm making an okay money, whatever. But I want to plan for the future, and I want to plan for my children. I got a son that, he's a junior in high school. He'll be going to college soon. Oh my God.
Did it just hit you?
It just hit you. Okay, so with that being said, in planning for their future, what steps would you take to approach that kind of planning?
So did you actually open up any type of college fund for him? Because those are actually pretty good. And you can start them off pretty young with college funds. And it just kind of, builds up over time. if you haven't, you can start now, even at a junior high school, because that'll allow for you to at least have some monies to be able to apply to some of those fees. I have a daughter at Clark Atlanta, so I'm just going to say, because I haven't always been the proper planner, so to say. So start somewhere. Get you a 6 to a 9 month CD. And as one of the people just mentioned, it is a fixed rate. The mutual funds are the ones that are a little bit more different. Make sure that when you're getting into something, make sure it has the compounded interest. And then for those that don't understand what compounded interest is, so you put in $100, you earn 110 in the first month. So instead of it just giving you money on the $100 that you put in, so come, let's say January, you earn 110. Here we're February, you have the 110. It gives you a percentage on the 110 and not the just base 100. So that's one thing that you want to make sure that you're looking at, especially when you're looking at CDs, whether or not you want to look at your annual rate, but you also want to, I always say, look to see if you find something that's compounded, because you'll get more in the return on a compounded interest than you would on just a basic standard interest.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
So there's another question. Uh-oh, I think I hear myself in your speakers. Did you hear that?
I didn't,
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'm
but
tripping.
I was going to say, do you want me to turn it down a little
Maybe
bit?
a little bit. A little bit. Can y'all hear me well? If not, then let me know in the comments so I can
Is that
fix
better?
it.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me though?
I hear you wonderfully.
Okay.
Okay, here's the other question. It says, what is your opinion on Roth IRA versus a regular IRA?
Um, what your yearly income is. That's what it more. There that's one of the biggest things. It just depends on what your yearly income is. Because one is more tailored towards people who are in a higher tax bracket than those that are in a lower tax bracket. So when you speak to someone, you want to make sure that they are well versed in both. So that's about the
Okay.
best. That's my opinion. It depends on what you make a year. And I mean, I don't want to know your business
Okay.
off
So
back.
I will throw some numbers out there so you ain't gotta say nothing. So let's start with somebody that's making maybe 50,000 a year.
$50,000 a year, I would probably stick to a regular IRA.
Okay.
That would be a little bit more better. That Roth IRA is more streamed towards people 6 figures or more, in my opinion. So it's
Okay.
not set in stone. I don't want nobody to say, "Well, you told me," but my opinion in that I have dealt with people. The
hmm
regular IRA keeps it pretty simple for people who don't make a significant amount of money. So yeah.
So why is that? Like how does it work? Why is the regular IRA better?
um, it just well, it's the rules in what you can invest in. So technically, people who make over like 200, if we'll say a joint couple, that makes about $250,000 a year. So the investment into the IRA is more beneficial for the regular IRA because it allows you to invest. I think this year it's like 7,500. Don't quote me on that. Don't, because I haven't done any. I'm trying to go off just off the
Okay.
top of my head. So I think that it may be capped at. I think they gave an exemption. I have to pull up my tax book over here in my office, but they cap that. So for the person, $6,000 for a person who makes $50,000 a year can be significant. Whereas for someone who makes $250,000 a year, that can be something, it could be lunch, dinner, or trip, something that's a little bit different. So that's why I say just do a basic regular RA. If you make less than 6 figures, it's pretty simple. for you for your capped income. If you're married, of course, you get that double exemption in there, where you both can put in a certain amount of money for it. The Roth IRA is clearly just for the more fortunate to be able to make more money.
She
So
didn't say the rich. She didn't say the wealthy. She said the more fortunate.
that's it. That way I don't step on no toes. You gotta be Manila.
Well, all right.
She said, "Touchy."
Okay. So Dr. Margaret says, what sounds like what you said, but the IRA equals safer, but Roth
Mm-hmm.
IRA is more volatile and more aggressive portfolio, but the risk is greater.
Mm-hmm. Which is why if you're making $250,000 a year, I can advise for you to do a Roth IRA. If you're making $50,000 a year, stick with the safer one.
Makes sense to me. So we are at 9:51. We are going to get back to this game real quick and let people answer. I don't know if you remembered. Would you like me to replay the game so that you can give these people the answer? Or do you want to just tell them what the answer is?
Did everybody see it? Because we only got one person who answered the question.
That's true. Okay, let me play it
So,
one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are with Find the Fake. All right, y'all. Now I replayed it. I'm gonna give y'all like maybe a minute to answer.
to get it together, to figure it out.
Okay. Felix says, see, we got two B's.
Mm.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just trying to give you a few seconds. Okay. You saw, so you know which one to tell them, right? Dr. Margaret says A. All right, y'all. We capping it. It's 9:53. We capping it. You had your opportunities. Hey, that rhymed. Bars. No. So, Dalji, let's tell them which one was the fake.
The fake was this is the only is B is actually. I did get my master's degree in 9 months. I did not graduate high school. I really didn't. I got my GED the same year that my class graduated. And it was solely because I was bored in school. So. That's the only way I could put it. And they wouldn't let me get it beforehand. It was like, you got to be pregnant. State of Illinois was like, you got to be pregnant with a kid, but if you want to just go take the GED. And I was kind of bored of school. So yes, I have actually had 4 businesses. And this has not been my only venture here.
Wow. That's funny because the whole school thing, I have learned that there are a lot of very smart and brilliant people that just simply got bored with school. It was like, deuces. Yeah. Interesting. So we got 2 B's. So y'all holler at me. I know both of y'all. So y'all holler at me. Those people I know. So holler at me, and we can arrange for your gift. All right. Yay. Okay. So I want you to give them the information again for those of you that were not on earlier in regards to how it is how to get to your social media to deal with that Sunday thing that you do so they can be educated on a weekly. What is that information?
So the website is actually D. Louise Financial Services. It's on Facebook. And I share it on my personal page also, which I am Dalji Booker, because I recently got married, on my Facebook page. Um, so what I do is you submit questions via inbox, text message, email. All of that information is actually on my page, on my Facebook page. Um, and I pick a couple, and for about 15 minutes at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, I just kind of talk about a few different topics. I don't bog you down. It's called Financial Food Sundays. And I used to do it from my kitchen until I finished my office here to kind of go in with the financial food deal. Um, yeah, I tell you all week long, submit your questions. Anything you want to, talk about, I can touch bases on, and kind of give some sort of direction for those who are looking to start businesses, looking to save money, have questions even about the PPP loans and payback and how to gain capital. So I give a lot of free information for people. Just a snippet of it. If you really want to get into the nitty gritty of it, I do offer a 30-minute free consultation. And there's ways to be able to sign up to get those consultations on that page. I also have a webpage, dlouise.com, that you can click on and schedule for a free consultation as well.
Excellent. Excellent. I know I'm goofy. Pray for me.
It's okay. It's Friday night, so you're allotted to be. So
okay. Yeah. So and for those of you that missed that break that let you know how to follow me, here is literally all of my information. Well, almost. So here's my this is on my social media. Okay, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And you want to follow me because sometimes I'm going to drop some information that I might not drop on these episodes, these shows. Might win something, might get an opportunity for something. You never know. You never know. And if you go to my website and you signed up for my newsletter, then I definitely send out new information that way as well that others won't get. So if you want to be special, sign up for that newsletter. And if you would like to actually shoot some ideas my way, or you want to be on the show yourself, I'll think about it. No, but no, contact me, Asia@asiajamal.com. I handle all of that personally, I promise you. Asia@asiajamal.com. And those of you, I saw a lot of you on Facebook. You can go to my website and you can go look back at all of the shows. I also load up some YouTube shorts that you guys don't see on Facebook. So you can go ahead, youtube.com/c/PURELive. Follow me, subscribe, and like. This helps the channel. If you want me to continue giving you all this knowledge and this information, you have to support. Please and thank you. And be sure to follow Dalji and support her as well. Follow, subscribe. I already subscribed to the newsletter, so y'all do it too. Because I said so.
yeah, what she said.
I said so. So before we close the show out, did you have any last words you wanted to give the audience?
Please plan. Please ask those questions. Don't make it a costly one for you down the line. There are no dumb questions. The only dumb question is the one you fail to ask.
Woo. Amen. Preach.
That's it.
Preach. Yes, absolutely. Amen. I agree with that. Yes, my church came out. Y'all know who I am. Don't act like you don't know. So until next time, we'll be back here
Friday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are going to change over to something totally different, topic-wise. It might get a little hot. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to be hot topics in this piece next Friday. Okay? Be there. I'm not going to give it away right now. Just follow me, and then you'll see. So remember to embrace God's perfect design, which is you, and I will see you Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Good night.
Good night.
Weeping lasted all night. I know that joy comes in the morning light. So I'll march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there is got to be